Peace be upon you, grade 7 students. Today we will start with Chapter 3, Respiration of Living Beings, Worksheet 20, Respiration in Aerial Medium, Part 1. At the end of this video, you will be able to explain how gaseous exchange occurs with pulmonary respiration. Prepare your worksheet, your copybook, and a pencil. We learned that respiration is a vital function. It is the process of gaseous exchange between the living thing and its surrounding medium, the air or water, by which the organism absorbs oxygen gas and releases carbon dioxide gas. This fish, which lives inside the water, it absorbs oxygen gas from the water and releases carbon dioxide gas to the water. The process of gaseous exchange taking place here is called respiration. Here, the process of gaseous exchange takes place between the air and the human's body, where the oxygen gas is absorbed while the carbon dioxide is released to the air. In order to distinguish between the modes of respiration and living things, we're going to classify the living things below into two groups according to their respiratory medium, the air or the water. So here the tiger, the seahorse, a human being, giraffe, and a fish. Let us classify them into two groups. The giraffe, boy, and the tiger are classified into a group according to their respiratory medium, which is the air, while the horse and the fish are classified together into another group according to their respiratory medium, which is the water. To which mode of respiration does each group belong? Here, since the respiratory medium is the air, so their mode of respiration is respiration in aerial medium. It is called respiration in aerial medium, while the mode of respiration of animals that live inside the water is called respiration in aquatic medium. So based on the medium of respiration, the air or the water, we can distinguish between two modes of respiration: respiration in aerial medium and respiration in aquatic medium. Since the respiratory medium in human beings is the air, so the mode of respiration in humans is respiration in aerial medium. So let us take the human being as an example of respiration in aerial medium. We learned that the inhaled air, which is rich in oxygen gas, enters our body through the nose till it reaches the alveoli, while the exhaled air, which passes through an opposite direction, it comes from the alveoli and leaves our body through the nose. But what happens at the level of the alveolus? How does the gaseous exchange take place at the level of the alveolus? Here we are going to start with pulmonary respiration, which is the respiration that takes place at the level of the lungs inside the alveoli. In this lesson, our objective is to explain how does the gaseous exchange takes place in pulmonary respiration. Observe this figure. What does it show? It shows the alveolus surrounded by blood capillaries, in which the circulating blood enters the lungs. And here is the amount of oxygen gas found in the inhaled and exhaled air. Now it's time to answer number 2 in worksheet 20. So compare the amount of oxygen gas in the inhaled and the exhaled air. The blood which circulates in our body enters the lungs. It holds a specific amount of oxygen gas. So here is the quantity of oxygen gas in the blood entering the lungs. And here is the quantity of oxygen gas in the blood leaving the lungs. Now it's time to answer number 3. Let's compare those two quantities. Number 2, compare the amount of oxygen in inhaled and exhaled air. Note that to compare numbers, we should use the following terms: more than or less than or equal to. And don't forget to write the values with their measuring units. So the amount of oxygen in the inhaled air, which is 21 milliliter, is more than that of the exhaled air, which is 16 milliliter. Number 3, compare the amount of oxygen in the blood entering and leaving the lungs. The amount of oxygen in blood entering the lungs, which is 15 milliliter, is less than that in the blood leaving the lungs, which is 20 milliliter. So what happened here? Why does the quantity of oxygen gas decreases from 21 milliliter in the inhaled air to 16 milliliter in the exhaled air? And why does the amount of oxygen gas in the blood entering the lungs increases from 15 to 20 milliliter in the blood leaving the lungs? We know that the medium of inhaled air is rich in oxygen gas, while that of the blood entering the lungs is poor in oxygen gas. Then, a specific amount of oxygen gas diffuses or passes from a medium which is rich in oxygen, that is the alveolus, to a medium which is poor in oxygen in the blood capillary. The blood will take its need from oxygen gas to distribute it to all body parts. And as a result, the exhaled air will leave our body poor in oxygen gas. Now, it's time to answer number 4. Draw out a conclusion. The oxygen gas diffuses or passes from the alveolus to the blood capillary. Note that the diffusion is the movement of the particles from a medium rich to a medium poor with this particle. Now, let us draw an arrow to represent the direction of movement of oxygen gas during respiration. This arrow is directed from the alveolus towards the blood entering the alveolus. What about the carbon dioxide gas? Observe this figure. What does this figure show? It shows an alveolus surrounded with a blood capillary. Here is the quantity of carbon dioxide gas in the inhaled air, which is 0.03 milliliter. And here is the quantity of carbon dioxide gas in the exhaled air, which is 5 milliliters. Also, the blood entering the lungs holds 53 milliliters of carbon dioxide, and the blood leaving the lungs holds 49 milliliters of carbon dioxide gas. Now, answer number 5. Compare the quantity of carbon dioxide gas in the inhaled air to that of the exhaled air. Then, answer number 6. Compare the quantity of carbon dioxide gas in the blood entering the lungs to that of the blood leaving the lungs. The answer of number 5 is that the amount of carbon dioxide in the inhaled air, which is 0.03 milliliters, is less than that of exhaled air, which is 5 milliliters. Number 6, the amount of carbon dioxide in blood entering the lungs, which is 53 milliliters, is more than that of the blood leaving the lungs, which is 49 milliliters. So what happened here? Why does the quantity of carbon dioxide gas increases from 0.03 milliliters to 5 milliliters in the exhaled air? And why does the quantity of carbon dioxide gas in the blood entering the lungs decreases from 53 milliliters to 49 milliliters? So what happened? We know that the medium of the inhaled air is poor in carbon dioxide gas, while the medium of the blood entering the lungs is rich in carbon dioxide. Then, a specific amount of carbon dioxide will diffuse or pass from the blood to the alveolus. so that the blood will leave the lungs poor in carbon dioxide while the exhaled air will be rich in carbon dioxide gas. Now answer number 7. Draw out a conclusion. So the carbon dioxide gas diffuses or passes from the blood capillary to the alveolus. Now draw an arrow to represent the direction of movement of carbon dioxide gas. This is the arrow. It shows that the carbon dioxide gas diffuses or passes from the blood capillary to the alveolus. Then what happens at the level of the alveolus? Which medium is rich in oxygen gas? Is it the alveolar air or the blood entering? Yes, it is the alveolar air. The alveolar air is rich in oxygen gas, while the blood entering is poor in oxygen gas. And as we said before, that diffusion takes place between a medium rich to a medium poor. So the oxygen gas diffuses from the alveolar air to the blood entering. What about the carbon dioxide gas? Which medium is rich in carbon dioxide gas? The blood entering is rich in carbon dioxide gas, while the alveolar air is poor in carbon dioxide gas. So the carbon dioxide gas diffuses from the blood entering to the alveolar air. So what do we call this process? This is called the process of gaseous exchange that takes place between the alveolus and the blood capillary. We said before that the surrounding air is made up of 3 main gases, which are the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen gas. We said that the quantities of oxygen and carbon dioxide gas change during inhalation and exhalation. What about the nitrogen gas? Does it change? Does our body need nitrogen gas during respiration? Let us answer number 8. So if the quantity of nitrogen in the inhaled air is 79 milliliters, what is the quantity of this gas in the exhaled air? Justify the answer. The quantity of nitrogen gas in the exhaled air is equal to that of the inhaled air, which is 79 milliliters, since our body doesn't use nitrogen gas during respiration. As a summary, gaseous exchange takes place at the level of the pulmonary alveolus, by which the oxygen gas diffuses from the alveolar air to the blood, while the carbon dioxide gas diffuses from the blood to the alveolar air. Nitrogen gas is not used by the body. It is not a respiratory gas. As an assignment, in worksheet 20, review pages 26 and 27 up to number 8, memorize numbers 4 and 7, answer number 10. That's all. Thank you for listening and watching. Stay safe.